Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Badillo. I have Clifford Bowens, TJ, Candace, and Nora Serda. We are Group 7, and we are doing our presentation over servant leadership.
I'll start with the definition. Greenleaf describes a servant leader as one who begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first. Then conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. A servant leader shares power, puts the needs of others first, helps individuals develop and optimize performance, is willing to learn from others, and forsakes personal advancement and rewards. A servant leader just wants to see their team excel. With them excelling through helping their team, that's all the joy that they need. They want to, servant leaders basically want to empower, want to nurture. Nordhaus in the text states that, servant leaders put followers first. They empower them, help them develop their full personal capacities, whatever that means. For instance, I work at a childcare facility, so I see myself as a servant leader. I want to make sure that my staff gets to the next level in life, that they exceed whatever it is that they choose to do. I want to make sure that they have all the right credentials, all the right things that they need in order to do their job adequately, and just to have a great fulfillment in life. Servant leaders concentrate on performance planning, day-to-day coaching, helping people achieve. They provide vision, and their team understands their expectation and desired outcomes. The ultimate responsibility of the servant leader is the enduring investment of the leader's life in the lives of who they follow. We are very involved. I ask my staff all the time, what can I do to better help you to do your job, whether it be personal, helping you find a place for shelter for you and your children, whether it's helping you get enrolled in school and, setting up your financial aid for you, whether it's child care services. At the end of the day, I just want to know that I have done everything in order to help my staff. Helping them is my number one priority, because when you're helping them, happy staff, it gets the job done adequately and effectively to me. And yeah, that's basically the definition of a servant leader. They just want to serve their community, serve their followers in order to empower them, help them to create a vision for themselves so they can excel in life.
A little bit of the background. So, service leadership, it was originally from the writings of Greenleaf back in the 70s, and it was defined as the servant leader being first, and they usually have that natural feeling of wanting to serve first, and then consciously this brings them to aspire to lead. There are 10 characteristics of servant leadership I'll be going over today. So first, we have listening. So listening is the communication between leaders and followers. And the way servant leaders communicate is by listening first. And by doing this, they are actually able to see from a follower's viewpoint or perspective. Second, we have empathy. So empathy is standing in another person's shoes and viewing things from another person's point of view. And usually empathetic people, they can demonstrate that they can understand a follower's feelings and thoughts. Third, we have healing. So healing is making someone feel whole. And you can do this by helping someone else overcome their issues or problems and making them feel whole again. So it's just pretty much, interacting with them, being there with them one-on-one, and just helping them overcome any issues that they might have going on in their lives. So fourth, we have awareness. So awareness is when one is aware of their surroundings and the impact that one has on others. So just pretty much being aware of everything that's going on around you. Fifth, we have persuasion. So persuasion is the clear and persistent communication that convinces other people to change. And this is done through the use of gentle and non-judgmental arguments. So just nothing violent, just everything, being there with that person, like I said before, just talking to them one on one and just making sure that they understand that you're there for them to help them out. So 6, we have conceptualization, which is when you are being a visionary for the organization and you're helping others understand the actual goals of the organization itself. So just going out there, being out and about, and just helping others see what it is that the organization wants to accomplish. 7th, we have foresight. So this is the ability of one predicting the future based on what is occurring in the present and what has occurred in the past. So it's kind of like forecasting, just being able to predict the future based on present and past. So 8th, we have stewardship. So this is about taking responsibility for the leadership role entrusted to you as a leader. So servant leaders take responsibility for managing the people and the duty that's given to them by an organization. So just pretty much being responsible and taking leadership and just being over all that. So 9th, we have commitment. So commitment is the growth of people, and Greenleaf's example of this is seeing each individual as someone who is unique and gives it their all. So just seeing the best in people and seeing them as someone who's out there and just willing to give everything they have for the organization or such. And 10th, last but not least, we have building community. So building community is when a leader sees the development of the community, and the book describes this as a group of people that have similar goals and views. So it's just pretty much people that think alike and have the same kind of goals.
My name is TJ Vaughns. I am a part of group number 7, and I have been given the opportunity to discuss servant leadership a little bit more in depth for y'all today. I will be going over the behaviors of servant leadership as well as discussing our CEO of choice for servant leadership. She's a good one, so stay tuned. Let's jump right into it. The behaviors of servant leadership. We start with conceptualizing. Conceptualizing refers to the servant leader's thorough understanding of the organization, its purposes, complexities, as well as its mission. This understanding actually allows the servant leader to think through those problems that don't have that surface leveled answer. So the more in-depth problems that we fall into in the workplace, it allows that servant leader to know what's going on in the workplace. It also gives them the opportunity to not just solve those problems, but to solve those problems with the overall goals of the organization in mind and allow us to push forward, us being the people that are working in the group within that organization. We move right into emotional healing. It's another behavior of servant leadership. Emotional healing involves being sensitive to the personal concerns and the well-being of others. It includes recognizing others' problems and being willing to take the time to address them. Servant leaders who exhibit emotional healing makes themselves available to others, stand by them, and provide them with support. So this isn't your typical leader that's walking around like, hey, you're not doing your work. Do your work, do your work, do your work, do your work. Otherwise, you're out of here. It's not that leader. This is that leader that's looking at you and telling you, hey, something going on? You seem a little weary today. How can I help you? Is there anything I can do? This is that leader. And that leader makes a huge impact on the workplace, whether you know it or not. We move right into putting followers first. Putting followers first is the end-all, be-all of servant leadership. It's a defining characteristic. It means using actions and words that clearly demonstrate to the followers that their concerns are a priority. This includes placing followers' interests and their success ahead of that of the leader. It may mean that a leader has to break away from his or her own task to assist the followers moving forward and reaching those goals that they're trying to reach. Move right into helping followers grow and succeed. This behavior refers to knowing followers' professional and personal goals and helping them to accomplish those aspirations. Servant leaders make followers' career development a priority, including mentoring followers and providing them with the support that they need to move forward. At its core, helping followers grow and succeed is all about aiding those individuals to become self-actualized and also allow them to reach their fullest human potential. Again, their fullest human potential. not their fullest workplace potential, their fullest task potential, their fullest duty potential. No, their fullest human potential. So this is more than just in the workplace. We move into behaving ethnically. Behaving ethnically is doing the right thing in the right way. It's holding to strong ethical standards, including being open, honest, and fair with followers. Servant leaders do not compromise their ethical principles in order to achieve success. You may see this sometimes in the workplace. You might have a leader that's showing favoritism, or a leader that comes up and they try to put one of the followers down in order to help another follower succeed that they like better. This isn't being ethical. This isn't morally supportive. This isn't how it works. That's why behaving ethnically is a strong portion. We're looking at the behaviors of that servant leader. Now, time we all been waiting for. We get right into Cheryl Batch. So Cheryl Batchelder is an American businesswoman who was CEO of AFC Enterprise. This is the parent company to Popeye's Louisiana Fried Chicken. Cheryl is a well-known and well-respected servant leader in the food industry. I promise you right now, if you go into Google and you type in servant leadership, on their first page of Google, you will find Cheryl Batch's name listed. That's because she's a powerhouse for the servant leadership. Faced with the opportunity to move forward and help develop and grow Popeye's franchise, Cheryl decided to take the path less chosen. She decided to use a different leadership style. And guess what leadership style it was, people? The servant leadership style. How you may ask, how did she change things? Well, instead of the typical leadership approach of attempting to just push for sales, her idea was to go to the franchise owners at these restaurants, those restaurants being Popeye's Fried Chicken, and see what those people wanted, what they felt like was right, what they felt like was the best thing to do. You don't hear CEOs of large food companies doing this all the time. And it's because they're pushing for sales. They're looking at the numbers. Part of being that servant leadership styled individual, you don't just look at the numbers. You look at the people. The people come first. Your followers, those people that you're working with, they come first. When you're a CEO, those franchise owners, they're your followers. Those are people that have to look to you to see what's going on. But when you turn around and you look to them instead to see what they feel is right, that's the main purpose of the servant leadership style. And that's what Cheryl did. And that's why stock prices were in 2003, about $3 or $4. And here we are, 2018, over $60. This is because Cheryl came in with that leadership style of servant leadership. She made some changes. And that's why we chose Cheryl Batchelder as our CEO of choice regarding the servant leadership style.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm Cliff Bowens. I'm going to brief the pros and the cons and bring the conclusion of the servitude leadership portion of the group project. Hey, first and foremost, there's always two sides to everything. First being first, servant leaders must be able to relinquish their authority. As servant leaders, we must understand in order for the servant leadership theory to work, we must humble ourselves in the same manner that Jesus did for us. A lot of people don't get that aspect of it, but again, it's necessitated in order for the theory to work itself. You also got to be happy with doing so. I kind of associate myself as being a happy giver. I feel the same way about leadership. When leadership the reins to your subordinates, you got to have faith of a mustard seed, so your team can understand you believe in them the same way they believe in you when they had the reins. So many of us over the years have let our titles change our personalities. Leadership is the art of influencing others to complete a common task. Which means servant leaders servant leaders should not dominate, direct, or control. Instead, they must empower. You must give away the reins happily and hope that your servitude, your guidance, your experience over the years have brought those people to the pinnacle where they need to be at to be successful. And trust it, right? Trust it. Don't go home making consistent phone calls back to the operation trying to see, hey, how did things go? Have faith, sleep tight, and rest assured when you get back to work tomorrow, the house won't be on fire. Again, leaders define themselves by their significance to others, thus fostering happy employees, equaling happier customers, thus yielding more increased customer satisfaction in addition to productivity. But there's a downside to it as well. Some people just are trigger happy. It just comes naturally, right? There's a downside to serving leadership. It's not a home run or proverbial hole in one. It takes time. It takes time to gain trust. It also takes time to relinquish the reins to others. Overnight bosses are tricky. You have to really, really be mindful that once upon a time you had an associate that they had to take all their commands and their prompts from you. Now you're going to freely give them the reins. And again, some people are just really, really, really power hungry. Some followers new to leadership roles aren't mature enough and just essentially just too power hungry. It does cause the leader to resist and or abandon the theory altogether, whether it be through frustration or whether it be just loss of confidence in the process itself. Things happen, right? We're all a human at the end of the day. This is primarily due to experience and severity, right? But then there are certain fields in which you should never give over reins to a newly enlisted soldier and or a new doctor fresh out of college, i.e. emergency room doctors, i.e. Military professionals. Some military professionals have went to the School of Military Art and Science, i.e. West Point, for excess of 8 years, just studying war. You don't want to give those type of reins over to a buck, what we call in the military, a buck lieutenant who's fresh out of the academy. It just won't work. And in closing, all parties have to really, really be engaged and totally understand what's at stake. It's an investment, right? All sides have to instill trust, honesty, and again, be mindful that their success is your success and your failure, their failure is your failure. So it's equal and just, right? Equal and just. There's a yin and a yang to everything that we do from a leadership standpoint. It's successful. The benefits are endless. They're eternal. Not supported by all echelons of management, it would fail and it would thus create a huge divide amongst the team itself. Trust your team. Create an environment where you can they can trust you as well. And again, this is Servitude 101. And I'll leave you with one note. There's a doctor in the south side of Chicago who made reference. He's a hospice care priest. And if you don't know what hospice means, it's people who's terminally ill. He said, I've learned throughout my years, sometimes showing up is all they want. They just want you to show up and just show that you genuinely care, right? I know with us millennials nowadays, we feel as though if we cut the grass, we want instant results. Cut the grass, we want the grass to be gone. But in servant leadership, it takes time. It's an investment. It's almost like planting flowers, right? They're going to yield. You're going to be able to smell the benefits of what you put into it. But again, it's a process. And again, this is Clifford Bowens, Group 7, signing off, Servant Leadership 101. Thank you.